Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that's going to help you become your best self. And today we are talking about how to let go of what's holding you back. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come visit me over on Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, and I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topics, suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me, I cannot wait to hear from you. I can't wait to become friends online. If you'd prefer to send an email, you could always send that to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. Again, I would love to hear from you. Anything that you want to say, anything that you feel like you need to tell me, I would love to hear it. And so I can't wait, again, to see you over there. And if you need help with spelling any of those things, please check the show notes below, where to find me on Instagram, my email address, and a lot of really good notes to help you with the show if you ever wanted to, go back and feel like reading it. It's easier to understand what I'm talking about, or just to have notes to contemplate what we were talking about for later. But let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Again, we were talking about how to let go of what's holding you back. A lot of times we end up holding on to things and not even realizing these are things that are holding us back. It's very common. It's nothing new. It's not a surprise, right? This isn't like, this isn't like me dropping this amazing knowledge bomb above, yep, bam, let me tell you something you didn't know. No, a lot of times we were just continuously holding on to things that are not going to help us, that are on the regular holding us back. And it doesn't feel like bad things like all the time. It doesn't feel like bad things. It doesn't feel like negativity generally. It just feels like our life. It just feels like that is our life. That is just, it is what it is kind of attitude, right? Which I don't think it is what it is a bad attitude at all. I say it a lot and I mean it. I genuinely mean it. It's just like something happens and there is no need to be upset about it. There is no need to freak out about it. There's no need to really put an excess of emotion into whatever it is. It just is what it is. And, but yeah, it just feels like our life. It doesn't feel like anything that sticks out. And, sometimes it does feel bad though. There are times where it does feel bad. Like you're like, okay, well, this is bad. Let's just call it what it is. But we don't know who we are without these things in our lives. This is something I've gone through for so many years. That there were bad things happening in my life, but it just felt like that's just what my life was, that I didn't have any power or an ability to overcome those things. Or if I did, like I would feel empty without it. It's kind of like my issue that I feel like I talked about in a recent episode of the show where, I'm always constantly looking for things to be worried about or anxious about for the other shoe to drop, because it's really hard for me to sit in the happiness and the contentment that's in my life, because I don't know what life is without chaos, because I lived my life with so much chaos, and it's tough. So, I want you to know that it's okay. Like it could just feel like they aren't bad things that are in your life holding you back, or they do, and you just don't know what to do or how you would feel without it. And, we can become very accepting of what's in our life if we don't see a way to create change, right? But it's also because we get so comfortable with this stuff. It just feels fine. It feels fine. We get comfortable with the good stuff and the really bad stuff. And, I don't want you to fall into a shame spiral if you are just realizing this. If you're just realizing, wow, I have gotten so incredibly comfortable with these bad things that I should not be, or I've gotten comfortable with these things that are not like terrible, but they're not great either, right? We're really evaluating what's in your life and how you're living your life and the habits that you have and the people that you spend your time with and you are connected to, and what you're doing with your life. And a lot of times we don't even want to have this conversation with ourselves. We don't even want to go through this line of questioning, because it means that we will realize what needs to change, and that we'll actually have to figure out a way to change it, which is a lot of work. I deal with this constantly. It's just a lot of work. But yeah, I don't want you to fall into a shame spiral. It's okay. A lot of us might just be realizing this now, or just might realizing it and being like, I thought I forgot about that for a while. And you did. But here I am reminding you. And if you are just realizing what you have allowed to stay in your life isn't quite as great as you thought or helpful as it was intended to be, it's something that we all do. We have all done this at some point. So I don't want you to feel like you're the worst person in the world. No, you're not. You're normal. You're regular. But it is important to really continue to bring these things up so we actually do something about it, because it's hard work. But we all fall victim to it because it comes into our lives as one thing, like whatever it is, whether it's a person or a habit or a response or like whatever it is, our behavior, it comes in as one thing, but slowly or quickly, just depending on what it is, transforms into something else, and it feels like we can't do anything about it. Like it really feels like it's just like, okay, well, hello, welcome to my life. Thanks for being here. What the heck am I supposed to do now, right? At least it feels like that for me. It's just like it bombards you. It just overcomes you. It's just like, or like it does come, like sneaks in, and then bam, one day it just really shows itself, and you're like, oh crap, what the heck? So it's okay if that's what you've gone through. It's okay if that's what you're realizing, but we need to be aware. Being aware is like the key to like really getting on the track to making change, figuring out what the heck needs to be done. But we can do something about it. It feels like we can't. It feels like we can do nothing. It feels like we're helpless, but we can do something about it. We just have to believe that we can and take action. And I know that that is like advice that I give often here, and a lot of people give. You have to believe in yourself. It sounds like something a cartoon character would say. You got to believe in yourself, but you do. You have to believe in yourself, because you could have 20 million people believing in you that you could do something, whatever it is. But if you are not taking on that belief system for yourself, it will never happen, because other people's belief that you could do something doesn't mean that you're going to do it, right? You have to believe in yourself, and then you have to take the action, because you can sit around and believe that you could change this, that, and the other and make the world better or make your life better at the minimum. But if you don't take the action to actually do it, it won't get done. It just won't. And I know that's tough, because it's so much easier just to sit in this, like comfort of thoughts of like, I can do it, and this is how I could do it. You can even create a full-blown plan and, line up people to be right beside you through it all. But if you don't actually get it going, nothing will happen. It just won't. No one's going to come and jump in and do it for you. They're not. As cool as that would be, it's not going to happen. You have to do it for yourself. And sometimes the action we have to take can be overwhelming, yep, and uncomfortable, and require a significant amount of time commitment for the change to take effect. But it's worth it. But you're like, yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, but like, it's going to take so much time. Maybe I'll do it later, and then you don't do it. You know those things where you're like, yeah, I'll do it later, and then you don't do it. Yeah, you got to do it, right? It's really tough. You got to do it. It's so hard, right? It's so hard because it's not enough for it to be overwhelming and uncomfortable. It just, sometimes it does require a significant amount of time for you to make a change, to let it go, to move on, to figure out what needs to come next. But it is worth it. It's worth it because in the end, think about how much better you'll be afterwards. And yes, you can, some people are like, well, you dwell on that, but I can't get myself to think that far ahead because I think of all the work that's in front of me, and that's true. That's why I'm always saying that you got to take every day, one day at a time, just a few steps at a time, so that you don't get overwhelmed and you quit. You just continue to truck along and feel proud of yourself because you are making progress, and you can look behind you and see the progress that you're making. So back to this. It's worth it. It's worth it to take the action. And, not only, to be clear, as we're talking about how to let go of things that are holding you back, not only am I speaking about certain habits in our lives, but also people. There are people in our lives that we need to let go. And decision-making styles, the way that we decide to do things and jump into things. And let us not forget self-sabotaging mindsets. Think that you think, the way that you speak to yourself, and also behaviors. So all of these things can be things that you need to let go of because they are holding you back. They are not doing you any favors. None whatsoever. And then you're probably like, well, Sabrina, are you going to tell us how to do that? I am soon. But I want to continue to encourage you and let you know that we can let go of things that are holding us back. We underestimate our power. We absolutely do. It sounds like a very strong thing to say, and it's true. And I underestimate my power all the time. I think I'm powerless a lot of the time, which really sucks to realize. It does not suck to admit that to you because I'm here to be vulnerable and honest with you, but it really sucks to reflect on. But we do. We underestimate our power. We underestimate our ability to conquer and, may I say, vanquish the bad things. Yes, vanquish, like, killing a villain in a movie. But we don't realize how much courage and ability we have to push back against what we don't want or need. A lot of times the things that are holding us back, we realize that they are holding us back. We realize that we don't need them or want them. But again, we don't. We underestimate our power and our ability to get the crap done. But it is our job to flip that switch inside of us. Like, we have to be the one that's going to be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm capable. I am able. I have the power. I can do this. This can be done. It might be a lot of work. It probably won't be fun in the beginning, at least, but it'll be worth it, right? It's just, this is your pep talk. It's going to suck a little bit. That's just me giving you an honest pep talk. I'm like, it's going to be great. No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be good. And it's going to be worth it. And you're going to look back and reflect and be like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. As opposed to being like, crap, I still have to do this. And, I want you to know, if you're listening to this episode near its release date, it's being released on December 31st of 2021, you'll know we are either about to roll into the new year, if you're listening to it on the date it is being released, which is New Year's Eve, roll into the new year of 2022, or we've already crossed over if you're listening to it shortly thereafter. And whether you're listening to, during the New Year time or not, because this podcast is meant to be more of an evergreen style, not necessarily based upon like where we are in the year. So whenever you're listening to it, it's important to recognize what needs to be eliminated from your life and actually get going with moving it out. The new year isn't the only time you can start new and start fresh and declutter your life and be done with what is no longer serving you. A lot of times it's super common, right? Top of the year, new like health and wellness goals and challenges and decisions, and that's great. And I think that you could, if you wanted, add in letting go of things that are holding you back as part of your own wellness challenge or wellness goals, because letting go of things that are holding you back will definitely impact your wellness in the most positive way. How could it not? How could it not? You might think, oh no, Sabrina, like letting those people go that I count on in my life, even though they treat me like crap or aren't helping me, or are those behaviors and habits that I'm currently, dealing in, participating in. Yeah, they're kind of bad, but what am I going to do? Like, I'm so stuck with those things. I'm so used to those things. Those things are like my little comfy blanket, my security blanket that I need. But honestly, you don't need those things. It's just like people that want to lose weight for whatever reason. Like, it is there to lose. They do not need it, right? Or people that want to stop habits like smoking or, drinking too much or eating too much of whatever it is. So I just want you to consider that, yeah, you can let it go, and it could be very similar to these other wellness goals, but it doesn't have to be. Again, you can be listening to this podcast in June, and decide to start new, start fresh, declutter, change your life up, let things go that you don't need. You can make changes and start again at any point in the year and in your life, right? And it's not as though you're like, okay, well, I have to wait till I'm 30 something to do this or 50 something to do this or whenever. No, you could start today, tomorrow, whatever. It's whenever you want, whenever you feel like it's appropriate. And it doesn't have to be a Monday either. It can be a Thursday. It could be a Thursday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. and you're like, okay, we're ready to make a change. So I just want you to know that because, we all transition into new seasons of life on the regular, which is the perfect opportunity to make necessary changes. When you move and transition from one season of life to another, and you usually feel it because you're like, oh, things are changing, I am growing, we are moving and grooving. You're like, okay, well, what else? I need to take advantage of this energy that is happening right now and make some changes. So I just encourage you, just don't feel like because this is coming out next to New Year's that was my intention. It is partially, it's going to help a lot of people, but it doesn't have to. You can be listening to this whenever, deep in the middle of October, Halloween, and you can make changes. It's totally fine. So, okay, let's transition into having you listen to a few questions to ask yourself to identify whether something or someone in your life is serving you or holding you back. Because you might be like, okay, Sabrina, this sounds all fabulous, but how will I know that I need to let it go, right? How will I know that I need to move on and move forward? How will I know that it's holding me back? Okay, great. I have 5 questions for you to ask yourself and consider. So the first one is, are you continuously sacrificing what you want for someone or something else? So are you continually sacrificing your time and your desires for another person that's holding you back from, going through with those things? Or maybe it's a behavior. Maybe you would really like to participate in some sort of physical activity, but you can't because your habits and behaviors of not allowing yourself to be healthy, whether it's eating bad or smoking or doing drugs or whatever it is not allowing you to. Those things are holding you back. Do you feel like you are sacrificing amazing things that you could be doing or you used to do and that you can't because of someone or something? Okay, so ask yourself that. Second question, is your trust being broken or taken advantage of? This question is definitely geared more towards a person in your life that you would need to let go that's holding you back. Are they betraying your trust? Are they taking you for granted? Are they, lying to you or trying to gaslight you? Any of these things? Yeah, it might be time to cut them free, let them loose, let them go. Just something to consider. The third question is, does being with this person or participating in this behavior leading you towards depression, anxiety, sadness, or any other negative emotion? Do you feel like the person or behavior is contributing to those emotions, those feelings, those things that are going on with you? And if so, it's oh, wow, is this really helpful? Do I think this will end anytime soon? Do I feel like it's just going to continue to get worse? Has it gotten worse? Or is it getting better? Really ask yourself these questions. Because if they are perpetuating these things, it's really be really tough for you to continue to want to continue with these things in your life. The fourth question is, do you find yourself often justifying why this still needs to be in your life? I laugh because I will always justify things in my life and be like, oh, well, this, that, and the other. And then I know that I'm in my head, I'm still calling BS on myself. I'm like, oh, it's not. I don't need it in my life. But you're justifying it. You're going out of your way, especially when people confront you or ask you about it. And you're like, no, it's good. Or no, I need this. Or no, it's going to be working out. Or no, this is fine because. And it's not, though. In your heart of hearts, in your deepest of your mind, you're just justifying. You're just coming up with excuses, not really actual reasons why it's still in your life. And then the last question is, do you find yourself often complaining about this yet still making no change? It drives me crazy. It's one of my pet peeves. I've shared this with my husband years ago. And don't get me wrong, I'm a complainer sometimes, but I really try to dial it back because I know it's just not the best. And if I do complain, I try to throw on the header of like, okay, let me vent for like 60 seconds and I'll move on from this. But if you find yourself complaining about something or someone, like if there's someone in your life, if there's a behavior, you're like, oh man, I really like to stop doing this because it just contributes this, that, and the other, or it costs so much money, or it wears me out, or it's not helping me do this, that, and the other, or I couldn't do this, that, and the other because of it, but you're not making any change. Ooh, you gotta stop. Complaining without trying to take action to make a change is such a waste. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of you saying anything. I'm sorry. If that hurts your feelings, I'm just trying to be real with you because it's not really helping. it's contributing to nothing. And if you're continually complaining about the same thing, I do not think that you can just qualify it as a venting session because I don't know. Because it's unnecessary. It's not. I feel like when you vent about something, you're just trying to get it off your chest. But if you are continuing to do it and making no action to change or no longer have this thing bother you, drive you crazy, then what's the what's the point? Why? You're just complaining because it feels comfortable. Because it continues to feed into you justifying why this thing or this person is in your life. Still. Oh, it's a pet peeve of mine. So that's why I wanted to say that. It's a pet peeve of mine, which is why I'm really passionate about it. But it just makes no sense because it's not contributing to anything. You're just complaining and making no change. So really ask yourself these 5 questions. You can find more if you just Google and really figure out like, okay, is this holding me back? Even if you have like a small feeling inside your heart and mind, wow, I think this is holding me back. It probably is. Just to be honest with you, it probably is. And it might be dear friends that you've had for 20, 30 years, and you need to take a break from them. I'm not saying you're going to cut them off and never be friends with them again. You're just going to take a break. I have done this with friends. You're just going to take like a silent break, and you're just going to like reevaluate your life. These behaviors, you're just going to like cut them out if they're really bad. Or maybe there are behaviors that are okay, but you can't really deal with them right now. It's just the season of life you're in. You're going to take a break from them, right? You're going to make these decisions so that you can live a better life. You can achieve your goals. You can move forward. You can no longer hold yourself back. So ask yourself these questions and evaluate if whatever it is holding you back. And now let's jump into the thing that you probably wanted to hear this whole time is today I want to share with you 5 ways to let go of what is holding you back. So 5 ways. Again, this is not the end all be all. Feel free to look up more online. Just Google it and you can get more advice. But these are the ones that I thought would be most helpful for you that I came up with. So the first one, I did research on it, because I love research, guys. I love research. You want me to research something for you? Let me know. Send me an email. DM me on Instagram. I would love it. Okay. So the first way is to release any guilt of letting go or saying no. When I wrote that, I was like, ooh, it rhymes. I get really excited when the things that I write rhyme, and I don't do it intentionally. I do not. Alliteration, I will do that intentionally. But when it rhymes, ooh, it just feels good. But again, release any guilt of letting go or saying no. So when you have to let go of someone, or you have to say no to them, or you have to let go of a behavior, of a mindset, or whatever it is, you're going to feel guilty about it at first because you're going to be like, well, I haven't done this before. This is new to me. But that is how you build the habit of letting go and saying no, creating those boundaries, walking away from that thing by doing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times at the beginning. It does feel really uncomfortable. It can. And you'll feel guilty about it, especially if a person is involved. You'll be like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, or it might, it's not going to benefit them. It's only benefiting me. Yeah. But if it's by letting them go, if they're not benefiting you in your life in a positive way, if they're causing negativity, right? They're hurting you. You have to let them go. You have to realize that your sanity, your health, your well-being is more important than just people pleasing and sucking up to them and being there for them if you're not taking care of yourself. So you have to release the guilt and be like, okay, I am worth this. And, if they are worthy or this behavior is worthy of me putting my all into it and sacrificing everything, then and they get that treatment, I deserve that treatment as well, because we all deserve that treatment, okay? You are worth it. Release the guilt. Let it go. It'll take a couple times, but just continue to tell yourself, I'm worth it. I'm worth this change. I'm worth this not being held back by this thing or this person anymore. The second one is to know that negative reactions to your decisions to let it go aren't your issue. So maybe you're like, okay, it's easy. I can let go of the guilt of saying no or letting go of this person. But, or this thing. Because if you're in a group that all participates in the same behavior or does the same thing, mindset, right? You might get some sort of negative reaction. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this. Or I can't believe you are leaving me, leaving us, no longer doing this thing. How are we going to, how can we still be friends or a community or whatever, or be together? And those issues are a reflection on them, not you. It is their issue, not yours. You are making a decision that is going to better you. You are making a decision that is better for your health, for your mindset, for your abilities, for your future, right? And some people are going to be selfish. It's like a saying that I recently read a couple of times. It's like people only get upset that you implement boundaries because it served them when you didn't, right? And so when people are able to walk all over you and do whatever they want, and then suddenly you're like, wait, no, that's not okay. And they know it's not okay, but they're just doing it because it's easy and they have access, right? And it's like no one's complaining. But as soon as you put that gate up, they're like, oh, no, this doesn't work for me. Now I have to actually do work, or I have to actually do this, that, and the other for myself. So you have to realize it's on them. It's their issue, not yours at all. The third one is to ask yourself, what purpose having this in your life, or this person, gives you, and determine if that's enough for you. So if it's a behavior, if it's a mindset, what purpose does it have in your life? What purpose is it bringing? What is it contributing to you on a daily basis? On your journey, your future towards the things that you are trying to achieve, the goals that you are trying to get to, right? What purpose is it serving? And really ask yourself this question. This question is harder when you're talking about a person because you're like, oh, they love me and they take care of me and they blah, 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 blah. But if they are only there because they financially support you, but mentally they trash you, or physically they trash you, right? Or you feel like you have nowhere else to go, you really got to figure out that situation, okay? You really have to figure out if they actually are serving a positive purpose deep in your heart. Can you say that they are? And then determine if that's enough for you. Is that enough? Is that going to be good for you? Is that going to help you in your future? Moving towards your future? Continuing to live the best life that you can have, rather. And if it's not, then you have to make a change. You just do. I know it's hard. And I know there are going to be things that are way harder than I can ever imagine that I've never even been through. But you have to make a way. And if you ever need someone to talk to you about that, like if there's something that you're going through and you're like, I know I need to make a change, Sabrina, I have no idea what to do, shoot me a line. Let me know. If I don't have any advice right away, I will do the research and help you figure it out. Absolutely, I will. I'll do my best. But yeah, so ask yourself what purpose having this in your life gives you and determine if that's enough for you. And if you just let it go, or if it actually is good, if it's helping. The fourth one is to create physical distance if possible. So easier done with a person, actually create distance. Or even if it's a behavior and you engage in this behavior and participate with a group of other people that do the same thing, okay, create distance between them and you. If it's a physical behavior, create distance. So if it's like smoking or doing drugs or something like that, don't have those things in your home. Don't engage with people that do those things. Don't buy those things. Don't do any of those things, right? Now, it's a lot harder to do this if it's like a mindset that is not serving you, that's holding you back. This is when you really need to implement someone in your life to cancel it out, to continue to feed you with positivity, and to be a light in your life, to continue to remind you that you are capable and you are enough and you are worthy, and that you don't need this behavior. It's only holding you back, which nicely, transitions into my last point, my last suggestion for you on how to let go of what is holding you back, which is to swap out the negative for a positive. So if you're having trouble with a negative mindset that is holding you back, you need to surround yourself with people that are going to continue on a regular basis to pour into you positivity and positive belief systems, and really lean in on core values that are going to encourage you that you are a conqueror, that you can do this. You can overcome these things. You do not need to sit in the pit of despair, as I say all the time. You can do it. You don't need to give up, and you don't need to rely on other people. You can do it. Getting help is great. It's amazing. But sometimes you just need to do it yourself. And even having that positive encouragement around you can be so amazing. So if you normally are with negative people, swap it out for positive. And if you are normally in an environment that doesn't encourage, working out, if that's something that you want to do, then go to an environment that will, encourage you to do that, or be more open and accepting of that. If your friends are just so negative in general about going in the direction of a lifestyle that you want to live or a job that you want to have, you need to find yourself to be around more people that are more encouraging and accepting of that. You know what I mean? Just easily swap out the negative for a positive, and really try to lean into a more accepting community of the things that you want to do, that you would love to do, that you need to do, that won't hold you back from what you need to do, and release what is holding you back. And that can be really hard, and it could take a while. That's totally fine. Just take your time. Take a few steps at a time. And, maybe if you can't directly swap out negative for a positive, you can just continue to add positives in. Maybe you have books you can read. You can have podcasts you can listen to. You can have, really cool influencers online that you want to keep up with that are really encouraging and inspirational and motivational to you, right? Maybe you need to get a counselor. That would be a positive in your life, as opposed to the negative of not having anyone to talk to lean on. Maybe you'll get a mentor, right? Whatever you need to do that's positive, that can overcome any negativity in your life, I encourage you to do it. So that's everything that I have to share with you today on how to let go of what is holding you back. And I really hope that it has been helpful. So thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast, again with me, Sabrina. And again, check the show notes below where to find me on Instagram. I'm at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or send me an email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. But thanks again for listening, sharing, downloading the show. I appreciate every single one of you. And can't wait to hear from you soon. But until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.